Good morning. I pray that your Monday was filled with spaces and places of joy, of peace, of happiness, that you found an opportunity to smile. But even if you didn't, that you found a place of rest, that you found a place where you could feel what you were feeling unapologetically. And I say that unapologetically because a lot of us were raised under the belief that you shouldn't feel, that you should just suck it up and move forward, or that your feelings really didn't matter. I don't know about you, but many of us were raised, at least I was, that where corporal punishment was used. And when I would get whooped, because I didn't get spanked, I got whooped. And you would cry because it was painful. You'll be told, you better not cry. Stop that crying. And what the message says is, don't feel. What the message says is, deny what you're feeling. What the message says is that your feelings are not valid. And so I pray that yesterday or today, that if you've had some feelings, something stirring inside, something that's making you feel some kind of way, that you've given yourself permission to feel, given yourself permission to identify what you're feeling. Because the reality is, some of us don't even know what we're feeling. And you may not have been raised in the same type of household I was in. It was loving, it was kind, but make no mistake, it was a household that is a residual effect of slavery. It was a household that believed in spare the rod and spoil the child, so the rod was not spared. Many days I went to school with whelps on the back of my legs. And it was all done because, I love you. That's why it's doing it to you. But, as a kid, we kind of internalized it. It made me kind of feel some kind of way. But I don't know that it actually demonstrated that I was loved. I don't know that it actually demonstrated that I mattered. I don't know that it actually demonstrated that I was someone who could be taught in a way other than physical punishment. And this is not a message about physical punishment, because some of you are thinking, well, that's the reason why I'm alive today. Better to have been beat than to be in jail. My parents were good parents. That's not what this is about. What I'm talking about simply is about feeling, allowing yourself to feel. And the messages that we were taught growing up that told us it was not okay to feel, that prevented us from feeling our feelings. So if you're going off into that, I've spanked my kids and that's what I need to do, it's not that kind of message today. Calm down. For a lot of my men folk, and there are some men, some brothers, some men out there who do follow me, and I do appreciate you. Yes, I do. But for a lot of you all, you were told that, big boys don't cry, real men don't cry. If something happens, be a man, toughen up, suck it up. The reality is that as human beings, we all feel. The reality is, as human beings, we all cry, we laugh, we have joy, we have an array of feelings. We feel disappointed. But if the message that's being told to you is that you are not a real man, you are not a big boy, that who you are, there's something wrong with you if you feel, then you learn how not to feel. And how do I know this? Because I have spent a number of years in practice as a therapist. And believe it or not, my primary population has always, for the most part, either been men or children. In the last 7 years of my practice, the majority population were men. And I had the benefit, the pleasure, I've had the distinction, I consider the honor to be able to work with men who experience trauma, some of them childhood, some of them combat related, some of them racially related, but these were men who learned through their experience with trauma, it is not safe to feel. And I always tell people the men who came to see me, none of them came saying, I want to get better. None of them came saying there's something wrong with me. They primarily came saying, my wife or my partner is going to leave me. I'm getting ready to lose my job, or my PO is forcing me to do this. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with everyone else. And that's the nature of what trauma does to us. We believe that there's nothing wrong with us, that there's something wrong with the other people in our life. But what I got to learn through these men, these very masculine men, or sometimes even feminine men, but these men who I worked with, I was able to, well, they were able to allow me to help them to explore those interesting things that scare us on some level, feelings. And sometimes, believe it or not, ladies, the men in your life don't know what they're feeling. They have suppressed those feelings for so long, they don't even know how to identify them. And that's true for some of you ladies as well. So I would invite you, you can pull it up on Google, get a feelings chart, just a list of feelings. Google feeling list. And when you find yourself in a situation, when you find yourself doing whatever, periodically check in and look at that list and say, how am I feeling? You know, how am I feeling? It's not how am I doing, but how am I feeling? And there's a big difference in that. You know, what we're doing, we can operate and do, but it's devoid of how we're feeling. A lot of us, when we get happy or when we get sad, we get busy. When we get angry, we fuss, we fight, we yell, we get aggressive. But when we get sad, when we feel lonely, when we get disappointed, we get busy. We start to do. So it's not about how are you doing, it's about how are you feeling. And believe it or not, folks, this was not what I was going to do this video about, but apparently this is what's coming out, and this is probably what's being needed for someone. So I'd invite you today, throughout the day, if you struggle with identifying your feelings, if you struggle with allowing yourself to feel, maybe periodically today, just check in with yourself and say, how am I doing? Say, self, what are we feeling? And if you can only think about either I'm mad or I'm not, then get a little feelings chart. Here's some words we could start with. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you disappointed? Are you discouraged? Are you feeling grateful? Are you feeling loved? Are you feeling irritated? Are you feeling exhilarated? There's lots of feeling words. I invite you to become comfortable with them so that you can then move forward. When you begin to allow yourself to feel, you can allow yourself to heal. And when you begin to heal, you can then move forward in living your best life. It always comes back to living your best life. But you can't live your best life until you have healed from that which has stopped you from being all that you've been called to be. I invite you to check out your feelings today. And whatever they are, just sit with them. Just be with them. They won't kill you, but they will help you to grow and open you up to explore all that life has for you. Love you all, and I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.